Welcome back everyone, J7Jace here, bringing you a Final Fantasy Tactics video on some weird or funny things that happen in the game, whether it be from gameplay, story, and etc. Now I don't mean this topic in a bad way, I mean I'm an FFT channel after all, and all of us love this game and we have a ton of respect for the development team who helped make it. They did a fantastic job, it's fun to play and a personal goat of mine. But of course, you should be playing a game for its entertainment value, usually, instead of attempting to focus on its real life accuracy or realism. I mean, fantasy is in the title of this game after all. But at times, when we are playing it, we can't help to stop to think and laugh about how none of these things would ever happen in real life. At this point, we are used to and familiar with the game, but there are just moments where we scratched our heads, or if we think about them too hard. So I'm going to be doing a top 10 of some of the strangest things that I think happen in this game. There isn't anything too specific about this ordering, although the ones I consider the most eccentric will be further in the video. With that being said, let's get started. Starting at number 10 would be Blade Grasp or Shira Hadori. It's a reaction ability that practically makes you immune to a large number of regular physical attacks, with your character using their hands to block anything incoming. I get how you can stop an LV bag about to hit you, but things like battle axes and bullets, I have my doubts. No way all these characters are like Chuck Norris who can stop a chainsaw with his bare hands. Number 9 would be the Warriors Guild. So you're telling me all these potential mercenaries can have their given names decided by Ramza for only 1500 to 1400 gil, where they must obey all his commands? Like, I get it, Ivalice was going through a rough time, but to literally have someone decide your name for that much gil, they're just better off winning a random battle outside. For number 8, does anyone notice that no one truly gets older in this game? How do these people never age? If you didn't know, as the dates pass by in game, or the yearly calendar, the characters can age, and I'll put that in quotes here. However, they all look and remain the same. I'm not sure who their dermatologist is, but I'm sure David Wooderson from Dazed and Confused will be happy. After all, we get older and FFT stays the same age.
I get older, they stay the same age.
Number 7 is a funny one. Monsters laying eggs despite having no mating partners and even genders. Like, how is this possible? All you have to do is travel between areas, and next thing you know, you have an entire roster full of chocobos. Too bad the critically endangered Kakabo can't do this, although Sirocco likes to get it on with people. Moving on to number 6 is Elmdor's death and resurrection. If you didn't know, there's an official rumor in the tavern that clearly states that he is killed when the War of the Lions breaks out, and even Ramza knows this. Even though this isn't the real Elmdor, shouldn't there be some news about a dead man walking or returning from the dead? Why don't the people of Limberry say or see something about how the castle is inhabited, or why doesn't Orlando say something at Limberry? They are the two main military leaders of the Southern Sky, so it would make sense that they would get to know each other or acknowledge one another. Number 5 would be random battles. So you're telling me in a battle of life and death, I can only deploy 5 units at a time when the enemy can have a lot more? And better yet, after all my characters die, I get a game over screen? Like, what is the rest of my roster doing just watching and letting their comrades and friends get killed? This makes zero sense. Not to mention, we also have all the time in the world to decide who gets to fight and to prepare for this battle. For number 4, it's Argath knowing that Delita and Teacher are commoners. Maybe there are some behind the scenes conversations and small talk, but literally Ramza and Delita never once mentioned it to Argath's face. Maybe he somehow got a textbook from the future from Araslam that gave him some background info on the Hyral family. The world may never know. Not to mention Dicedarg and Zalbag trusting Argath being in charge of a small military force at Zeekton all of a sudden out of the blue just seems very odd. Number 3 is one that many people will disagree with, but Princess Ophelia surviving the knife stabbing. When Final Fantasy Tactics first came out, the ending really shocked a lot of people, and it still does today. However, Yasumi Matsuno went out and said that Ophelia actually survives this. But how? It clearly looks like she drops dead from the knife, but maybe Delita is just an Arena Master rogue and can incapacitate her in some magical way. Second to last, it'd be Oran Durai and Eraslam Durai, knowing Ramza's story from the beginning ever since he was a squire at the academy with pinpoint accuracy. How and why they are able to recount all of Ramza's personal life, not to mention events, is quite strange. Ramza and Oran barely meet up and they never end up talking about everything. And also, why would Oran go to the church with his own papers where he makes a presentation pretty much exposing all the corrupt things they have done in the past? It's like he was asking to be killed. Oh yeah, and the church just ends up taking the Durai papers and not destroying them. If there was a document detailing every little thing about me, including all the bad things I've done, I'd definitely throw it out or burn it. And finally, for number 1 would be the taverns and shops when Ramza enters. I find it very odd that even after the events of Chapter 1, the shop owner still calls Ramza Lord. I'm not sure if he is doing it out of respect, or maybe he just doesn't keep up with current events about how Ramza pretty much abandoned his house, was labeled a heretic by the church, and is a wanted man. And the thing is that every single shop will do this, even at Zeltania Castle where Goltana would definitely want his head. Onto the tavern, the same thing happens too, with the tavern master addressing Ramza as Lord. Don't they all recognize him and would be attempting to take his life or turn him in? All of these I still laugh at, but I still find number 1 the most hilarious, especially when you're in chapters 2 and 3 because of the context of the story. Feel free to let me know of any in the comments on anything that I may have missed for this video, and list anything you think is out of the ordinary, like how Ramza can immediately go from his cool mercenary armor to his butt pants in these cutscenes in War of the Lions. I know you literally don't want to mess with him in a fight, but the fact that he can change his clothes in an instant is quite scary. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time with more videos. Take care.